Hi students, the next is ionic bond. Here ionic bond means here the bonds formed between ions is called as simply ionic bond. Here the bonds formed between ions, here the bond formed between ions, or here we can say in between a positive charged ion and in between a negative charged ion, the electrostatic force of attraction is called as simply ionic bond. How this positive charged ion forms means suppose if an atom is present, a neutral atom is present, for example, carbon or any atom, suppose like this. Here A is present, for example. If this A is converting into A plus, how means if it is losing an electron, then it is converted to positive charged ion. And suppose B is present and here it is B minus, and here it is formed how means by gaining of electrons. One is formed by the loss of electrons and second one is formed by the gain of electrons. So a cation and anion are formed by the loss of electron or gain of electrons, or simply we can say this is losing that electron and this is taking that electron. So a transfer of electron occurs. So simply we can say ionic bond is the electrostatic force of attractions between two oppositely charged ions which are formed by the transfer of electron from one atom to another atom. The ions how they formed by the transfer of electron from one atom to other atom. One is losing the electron, another one is gaining that electron. So by the transfer of electron, the ionic bond is formed simply, and this ionic bond is also called as electrovalent bond. This is also called as electrovalent bond. Electrovalent. The number of electron transferred here, the number of electron transferred between two atoms is called as electrovalency. Okay, in ionic compounds and ionic bonds, we can calculate electrovalency. Okay, now we will check when the atoms forms ionic bond or what type of atoms mainly forms ionic bond. Suppose ionic bond is always formed first thing between metals and non-metals. Between metals and non-metals, ionic bond is formed. What are these metals? All metals we have in second total periodic table. If you take, so many metals are there, and in that particularly first A group elements and second A group elements. What are these first A group elements? Alkali metals. Here these are alkali metals, and second A group elements are alkaline earth metals. Alkaline earth metals. Here in the IUPAC notation we can indicate at 1 2, normal 1 2. Okay, in old notation it is 1A 2A. Okay, in some books or in some other books I saw that 1B 2B also they give, but you don't worry about that. Alkali metals, alkaline earth metals are the metals which involve in the ionic bond formation. Okay, and what is the second type? Non-metals are required. What are the non-metals we are using? Here non-metals mean generally the 7th A group elements and 6th A group elements. Here 7th A group elements means here they are called as commonly halogens. And 6th A group elements means here this 6th A, not 5th A, 6th A group elements. 6th A group elements are also called as chalcogens. What are these halogens means? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine mainly, and 6th A group elements oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium, mainly oxygen and sulfur. Okay, selenium, tellurium also we can take. So oxygen and sulfur mainly, these are forming ionic bond between them. Means one first A group element, one 7th A group element. Or we can say in other way, delta En. What is this delta En? Electronegativity difference. If electronegativity difference electronegativity difference is greater than 1.8, In some books they gives 1.7, some book they gives 1.9. So 1.8 I am taking. Greater than 1.8, then means delta En of two elements or atoms of two elements. Electronegativity difference of two elements is greater than 1.8, then they form ionic bond. They form ionic bond. So for example, we are taking hydrogen. Hydrogen electronegativity as per Pauling scale is 2.1. Fluorine electronegativity is 4.0 as per the Pauling scale. What is the difference between these two? 2.1 minus 1.4.0 means you will get 1.9. So 1.9 means it is greater than 1.8. So between H and F, what type of bond is present means it is simply ionic bond. Why we are taking the electronegativity difference? If they are having electronegativity difference, they can do? Generally they lose electron or they gain electrons. Why we are taking first year, second year group elements mainly? Because they lose easily. They lose the electrons easily. First year group elements means, for example, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Here, these are first year group elements. And these first year group elements generally try to lose their electrons and they converts into Na plus. Here it is a 2, 8, 1 configuration and here it is a 2, 8. They have 10 electrons like helium configuration. So they always try to lose one electron and they convert the nearest unit gas configuration or stable octet configuration. Secondary group elements also. For example, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium. These are the secondary group elements. For example, magnesium is taken, it loses two electrons and it is converting one electron here it is two electrons into Mg plus 2. Here it is actually 2, 8, 2, but here the configuration is 2, 8. Okay, so magnesium plus 2 is having octet configuration in the valence shell. So the first year, second year group elements try to lose the electrons, whereas seventh year, sixth year group elements, fluorine is taken. Here it is 2, 7 configuration. If it is gaining one electron, then it is converted to F minus, configuration is 2, 8. So seventh A group elements, even sixth A group elements also, they try to gain the electrons and so they form the ions easily, and in between ions the electrostatic attractive forces we can call it as simply ionic bond. So in between what type of elements ionic bond formation occurs? Simply first thing you remember, between metals and non-metals. What type of metals? Generally, first year group alkali metals, second year group alkaline earth metals. And what type of non-metals? Seventh year group halogens, sixth year group chalcogens. And third, if the electronegativity difference is greater than 1.8, then also they form ionic bond. Okay. If the electronic difference between two atoms or two elements of the atoms is different, greater than 1.7, then they are forming ionic bond. Okay. Next, which factors influences the formation of ionic bond? So suppose first NaCl compound formation we can check. First, simply sodium, I already gave that it is 281 configuration, and by losing one electron, it is converted to Na plus plus E minus. So it is a 28 configuration, neon configuration. And suppose chlorine is taken, it is having 287 configuration, and Cl is gaining one electron, we can write like here one electron, and this is Cl minus, and here it is having 288. It is argon configuration. And here how the electron is getting mean this electron is coming onto this, means sodium is giving one electron to the chlorine, and between sodium plus and Cl minus ion there is electrostatic attractive forces. So the electrostatic attractive forces between oppositely charged ions is simply called as ionic bond. And in this, what factors influences the formation of ionic bond? So we need cation and we need anion for the ionic bond. So first we will check it. Factors. Factors favorable for ionic bond formation. Ionic bond formation. Factors favorable for ionic bond formation. In this factors favorable for ionic bond formation, first one, we need a cation. So how the cations are formed easily? If an atom is losing electron, it forms cation easily. Suppose if I am taking sodium, sodium is losing electron easily, then it is converted to cation. Suppose cesium I am taking, the first A group lost element. If cesium is taken, it is forming cation easily, or it is losing electron easily, we can say it is forming cation easily. When they lose electron easily, and in the periodic table chapter you studied that ionization potential concept, IP or IE, ionization potential concept. What is ionization potential? Here this is nucleus and this is outermost orbit electron. If this electron is removed, the amount of energy required to remove this electron is called as ionization potential. The amount of energy required to remove the outermost orbit electron is called as ionization potential. If the energy required is very less, means with a small amount of energy, if you remove this electron, then we can say IP values are less. Means after electron removal, what happens? It converts into cation. So, for the cation formation, what is the best condition, favorable condition means low ionization potential. Low ionization potential. Elements which are having low ionization potential will always try to lose electron easily and they can give cation easily. They can form cation easily. So, an element which has lowest ionization potential is always more favorable for cation formation. Okay, for example, lithium, sodium, I am taking group sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. In this, which forms cation easily? As per your ionization potential values, tell me. Here, ionization potential values, if you are taking, generally from top to bottom in a group, what happens? IP values decreases. IP value decreases means cesium is converting into cesium plus very easily. Whenever this is converting into cesium plus very easily, and lithium to lithium plus conversion is not easy, means it requires more energy. So cesium plus formation is easily occurring. So from top to bottom, what happens? IP value decreases and cation formation. We can say cation formation ability. Cation formation ability increases. Means which forms cation easily. Suppose lithium to sodium, sodium to potassium, potassium to rubidium, rubidium to cesium. The cation formation ability increases. Why it increases? Their IP value decreases. Why IP value decreases? Size increases. Whenever the atomic size increases, what happens? The outermost orbit electron is very free. It is away from the nucleus, so we can remove the electron easily. Okay, so first important thing is cation formation, which requires low ionization. Here, that is requiring low ionization potential. When an atom is having low IP value, then it forms cation easily. That is first factor. Okay. Next, second factor. Cation formation is over. Next, second factor means anion formation is required. Anion formation means how the anion is formed. Yes, when an electron is gained, we can get anion. So second factor is anion formation. Here, anion means negative charged ion. Negative charged ion formation. Suppose if you are taking A, it is getting electron, then it is converted to A minus. Who will take up electron easily? Who will take from the any other atom which will take the electron easily? Suppose I am taking, what is this concept as per periodic table chapter? In the periodic properties we studied now. When an electron is added to a gaseous neutral atom, then we convert it into anion and the energy released or absorbed? Yes, it is released. Electron affinity. Please remember this concept. If you study periodic table perfectly, it is very much useful. Okay, so for the neutral gaseous atom, if an electron is added, then energy releases, that released energy is called as electron affinity. And if it releases more energy, means what? It requires electron highly. It has high requirement of electron. So, if high electron affinity value, or we can say in other way, high electronegativity value. Electronegativity means it is the ability or tendency of an atom to attract the bond pair electrons or shared pair electrons. So, high electron affinity, first remember this, high electron affinity containing atoms forms anion easily. For example, we will check seventh group elements fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Okay, and in these elements, if we see the fluorine, chlorine, there is some abnormality. If electron negativity concept is taken, or we can remove this fluorine first. Okay, you check these three chlorine, bromine, iodine. In this chlorine, bromine, iodine, here the electron affinity values. What happens? Electron affinity values decreases. Means what? Chlorine can gain electron very easily and it releases a large amount of energy. Chlorine releases large amount of energy. In the values point of view, I am telling that is not correct values. So it is suppose it is releasing 300 kilojoules energy. By gaining of one electron, it releases 300 kilojoules, for example. And bromine is releasing 200 kilojoules. For example, I am not telling approximate accurate value. It is only average, approximate values for our understanding purpose only. And iodine, it releases 100 kilojoules energy only. Now tell me, which has more requirement of electron? Suppose when you are going to a market or any shop, if you have more requirement about that thing, suppose you want to purchase a mobile, you need that mobile. You are not having mobile or your mobile is broken. If you need mobile and you have high requirement, then what we will do? Even they are telling some extra price also, we can buy. Like here, chlorine is having high affinity towards electron. Because of this reason, it is releasing more energy. And bromine, less energy, iodine, very less energy. When the high electron affinity is present, means high energy releasing. So, chlorine, it takes electrons easily and releases energy and converts into anion. So, anion formation when occurs easily when it is having high electron affinity or it is having high electron negativity. These are the two important points for getting cation and anion. The third important point is lattice energy. Lattice energy. Here, lattice energy we can indicate with U, or it is lattice energy means what? crystal lattice energy or lattice energy we can call it as. And the lattice energy means it is the amount of energy released, always released during the formation of 1 mole of ionic crystal, 1 mole of ionic crystal from oppositely charged gaseous ions, from oppositely charged gaseous ions. Means, for example, Na plus gaseous ion is having Cl minus gaseous ion is present, and they are combining to form 1 mole of NaCl solid. 1 mole of NaCl solid, it releases 769.96 kilojoules, 96 kilojoules per mole energy. Means the amount of energy released during the formation of 1 mole of ionic crystal. Na plus Cl minus ions both are present in the ionic crystal. Ionic crystal means ionic compounds are generally having a crystalline structure. Means if you observe sodium chloride, rock salt, this is like a powder. When we use for face, we are using powder now. That is not same as sodium chloride rock salt which we use as table salt. The table salt powder and powder which we use for our face is not same. They are different. First one, table salt, is called as a crystalline solid. The second one, which we use for our face powder, that is amorphous solid. Crystalline solids are having a particular crystalline structure, a solid state structure, and that ionic crystals formation occur by the combination of two oppositely charged ions. So, when 1 mole of ionic crystal is formed from oppositely charged ions, 1 mole means I will give later, and you will study about the details in the later stages. In some basic concepts of chemistry, we study about the mole concept. So, 1 mole of NaCl formation from oppositely charged gaseous ions occurring, and the energy released due to this is called as crystal lattice energy or lattice energy. And one more important point, remember, ionic compound most favorable condition is also lattice energy value. If it releases more lattice energy is high, then the ionic compound stability is higher. Stability of ionic compound is high. Whenever lattice energy is less, it is less stable. Okay, so please remember this third point, lattice energy. Lattice energy also an influencing factor. If an ionic compound has a high lattice energy, it has a high stability. Okay, if it is releasing less energy, then it has less stability. Okay, this is third factor. So we'll study remaining in the next class.